So, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of NOMIFACTORY. And, well, this is Ireland in the future. And we have got a bending machine, lathe, alloy smelter, electrolyzer, extractor, autoclave, compressor, mixer, and a wire mill. We have automated sugarcane production. We got the vacuum chest. We made a bunker for everything. We have water. And we got item conduits. We also got this, which is what made these freaking crazy OP hammers. We're stocked up. And yeah, that's really about it. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another NOMIFACTORY video. So, I was a little busy in between episodes, not really. I probably put in about 30 minutes of playtime. And I automated sugarcane using SNAD and a little setup under here. So SNAD it's just sand, but it's made with double compressed sand. It just kind of takes a little bit to get, and it responds to redstone signals and lets things grow based on that. So we have these redstone sensor filters made with red alloy and redstone comparators, which isn't very bad. And it sends a strong signal all the time to this, making the sugarcane never stop growing. What I realized pretty shortly on, after doing just one side of this, is that our whole setup becomes obsolete. Like, we don't even need this side, so we're just not going to use it. But yeah, it's super efficient. We have a lot, to say the least. And so it all gets flown into this little hopper system, and it gets fed into the steam dynamos. And I moved our infinite water source to right here, so we just have this connected up, and we are good to go. Our setup is now fully operational and functional. It's kind of nice. I need to, put another log here. I'd probably light this up, but I'm pretty happy with it. So what this means is that from now on, anytime we need power, we just place one sugarcane. And yeah, it's time to get cracking, I guess, because now at this point we're not manually doing anything for power. We can just start upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. I think where we may start today is by making a battery buffer, which isn't super expensive. It's just some tin, and this will 4x our energy storage. And that's going to be huge for this, because right now we store 8.2 thousand RF, and in a 4x battery buffer, we can store upwards of 400,000, possibly 4,000 or 460,000. Having a little bit of a storage is going to make a massive difference in the way that our, little factory runs. So, very excited to get started on all this stuff. So the first machine we're going to be making is a bending machine. It's a plate maker, and so it just replaces the hammer and ingot recipe in the crafting table. It makes it way easier, because instead of 2 to 1, it's 1 to 1. This makes our lives incredibly easier, because holes now take 8 ingots instead of 16, or actually takes 9 ingots because of steel. But yeah, this is a game changer. And the next thing we're going to make is the lathe. In the meantime, we also made some batteries out of lithium and battery alloy. Battery alloy is made of lead and antimony, and you just combine those dusts and get it. It's really not too bad. We're working towards the lathe at the moment, which is just going to give us easier rod recipes. And like I said with the bending machine, most of these machines are just a way to replace the crafting recipes because the ratios are unfavorable to us. A lot of our time here is just going to be spent like crafting and getting all the parts that we need for these machines. And so yeah, like working diamonds and making motors. And here we have the lathe, finally. So what the plan is right now, we're just going to start spamming the bending machine lathe. And also the wire mill. So we can make the compressor, the polarizer, the macerator, some pumps, and some conveyors. What we're probably going to end up doing is making the alloy smelter. It's actually so hard to like record videos of myself talking because I can hear every single thing that I say, but on delay because I'm using the voiceover recording thing on Premiere. This is so with the alloy smelter, we are going to make some fused quartz, which is going to let us make intervoirs for water. It's just way faster than the infinite water sources. And then we're also going to make pulsating polymer clay, which is going to be huge. So what that does, you put that in a loop fabricator made with deep mob learning, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get soon if we don't already have it. And then we are going to throw that in there with a data model and start getting basic resource automation. With DML, you can make iron, you can make copper, lead, coal. A lot of your basic, like, necessary resources you can automate through this. Oh yeah, this is steam turbines. So what they do is they switch the function of our steam dynamos. We are going to have one boiler and 2 turbines. So now instead of producing RF, one of our steam dynamos is going to be producing steam with water and a burnable resource. That's going to run into the 2 steam turbines. And bang. We have now, I think, tripled output of power. Things are starting to go good here. What we're doing is we're just giving the intervoir a little bit of water. And yeah, it's honestly a slow process. I don't know why I didn't just get a bucket. Here we locked in, we made the mixer. The mixer is going to be huge because that allows us to make a lot of alloys and compounds that we can't just make in a crafting table with dust. With this, we can make energetic alloy. We can make many things. Really, this is just the beginning. Here we have the compressor. This is just a massive game changer, especially for early game making of wires, because we no longer have to coat wires with a 2-to-1 ratio of freaking sticky resin to plates. So I did a oopsie. I forgot to show you guys the achievement for the electrolyzer. But what this does is it just breaks down materials. So right now we're doing clay dust electrolysis, I think. It gives us water, silicon, sodium, and I don't know, something else. But really what we want is the aluminum. That's going to be our first MV resource, which we are going to smoke in the blast furnace. These are some of the basic resources that we're going to need to get into the ML. It's going to be a lot of that pulsating dust. We're going to need some carbon fibers, which I do not think we are going to make the autoclave way, because we don't have that yet. Or we do have it, but we don't have polyethylene. What we're going to end up doing, I think, is we're just going to smelt some string. I don't even know why I'm going down this rabbit hole. Yeah, it's string and coal dust. And then we're going to use that to make the mesh. And then once we get the mesh, we use 4 of those in a dark steel hole and some circuits, and we have a loot fabric. So next episode, hopefully with the loot fabricators, we can use the Enderman data model to infinitely get emeralds, because we can get an extractor, throw ender pearls, not emeralds, ender pearls in there, melt them down into resonant ender, which is just a liquid, and then we combine resonant ender and something, I think quartz or glass, something like that. I think it's made through quartz or glass, and we get pulsating polymer clay infinitely. And we made a pump, which is big. That's a nice little quest done, but it's more or less like just a part. So you can use conveyors and pumps on machines as a way to automatically import and export items and fluids, but as of right now they're so expensive there's no point. Autoclave, let's go. The main cause of getting this machine right now is because we need a way to make, I think it's a pulsating crystal, yeah, because that is necessary to make the vacuum hopper, which will pick up all items in an area. It's great for us because we no longer have to rely on the hoppers to pick up all the sugarcane. We have the vacuum hopper automatically getting everything, so we're not going to be left with a bunch of sugarcane just floating around our base. Right now we are making the extractor, which is a big necessity because we cannot smelt the pulsating iron into the fluid needed to coat the diamond right now without an extractor. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the extractor facing in towards the autoclave and buying. Because a nice thing about these machines is with the wrench you can just make the machine face a certain way, so it will output in that direction automatically, which is great. Yeah, so you put that in there, get the machine face in there, bang, bang. We are making money moves. Oh, by the way, this song is Earth by Joe Henderson and Alice Coltrane. The next song is going to be, I think, Blood Money by the pop group. No, Thief of Fire by the pop group. And then after that, it is Not Waving by This Heat. All these bands, you should check them out. It's from a long time ago. These bands no longer exist, but the music is incredible. So, we're making a vacuum chest. I called this a vacuum hopper earlier and messed it up, but that's not the true name. What the plan is, after we get some obsidian for the void upgrade. So what the void upgrade does, you throw that in a drawer and it makes it where any excess items are just voided. Thief of Fire. So we're running all of the sugarcane into the hopper. Then from there, we have an item conduit transporting the goods from the vacuum chest into the Minecraft hopper. And then it just runs it through the hopper system. But what this does, it just adds a fat buffer. And right now, I'm not super worried about how much we're moving per second. It's not that deep. We are making some carbon fiber mesh out of string and coal dust. And now we are making the pulsating mesh. We are working our way in a demo. Even if we don't really get to fully use it this episode, it's nice to just have it, so then whenever we start making things with the blast furnace, we can just hop in it. This is sort of just like an explanation of how we go from uraninite to the dang pulsating dust. The darn dust. So uraninite, and you get some more of that. You got too much sugar cane. Throw some sugar cane. Run back. Put more. What a life. What a life. Then we made an enchantment table because we wanted to get some OP hammers. Watch how slow this is. Really, all of the gameplay, the defining trait of it is that I look stupid. Like, you're watching my brain go, and it works in slow motion. This song is so gas. Making just a little more of the carbon fiber mesh. Yeah. I think I was just doing this to like show the camera, to be honest. Jumping for joy. And then this is electrical steel. So we're gonna need a lot of electrical steel coming up for stuff with DML, I think. And other mods. I don't know exactly. Oh, that's dark steel. Oh, that's for dark steel holes. My bad. I'm a dingus. But we do need electrical steel. And that's going to be steel and silicon. My bad. I was getting ahead of myself. Yeah. These dark steel holes are going to craft a lot of stuff for us. Whether it's the deep mob learning machines, some other stuff. But dark steel is just really, it's just a huge crafting ingredient because we need it for end steel. And I think that is an EV superconductor. Something like that. So, yes, it's necessary. We're going to be making high quantities of that. So we got the 4x battery buffer. Massive. It just quadruples our power storage. But now, it's in this buffer and it goes to all machines instead of just select machines because we don't have enough batteries to just put them in every single machine. We only had 2. I think we had them in like the bending machine, the wire mill. Hello, 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 hello. We have a 4x battery buffer which we created. It's really not that bad of a recipe, and these aren't bad either. It's lithium, which I got through clay electrolysis. Clay dust. Get sodium, silicon, lithium, and our next big material, which is going to be smelted into this thing, the blast furnace. So what the blast furnace is going to do is allow us to smelt higher tier metals, and also making the HV machine casing components. Now what we're going to do to start the day, I guess 3 stacks of wrought iron. We need a lot of it. Got some nickel. We are going to make a bunch of copper nickel, hopefully. Because copper nickel is going to be the one thing that we need for this blast furnace here. We're going to make copper nickel wires and craft those into copper nickel coils, hopefully. 2x, so it's about 16 per 16 wire. That's 8 ingots per coil block, because we're gonna need them real soon. We also have some dark steel, which helps us make these holes for crafting these. We have all of the ingredients for this. We just need to make a freaking circuit. Multiple circuits actually. We can make this. So we can make this. Bing. For now we can't use it just yet though. Here's the forge hammer. Not a quest yet, because we haven't got the cobble gen. The forge hammer, it acts like a hammer in the game. So you throw cobble in, you get gravel, you throw gravel in, you get sand, and then sand into dust. But what you can do is you can automate this by throwing a bunch of, like, 4 forge hammers. And you have a cobblestone generator on one end, run them all into each other, you get instant dust. You put that in a chemical reactor that we just got with some water, and you make clay. Yeah, see? Bang. And that's going to be the key to our first automating setup, because we're going to need to make a bunch of this clay and pulsating dust. This is Invar that's used to make some of the things for the blast furnace. It's going to be the top and bottom casings, and it's used, I think, in the machine block itself. We got a cobblestone generator just for the quest, and then now we got the forge hammer quest. Let go. There's a bunch of copper nickel wires. You could probably make 2 blast furnace with that many coils. Electrical steel acquired. See, now we can start simulating mobs. We went into the lost city and killed the zombies so we can get some rotten flesh. Now we have a data model, our first one. Let's see if we don't get the quest yet. So, we have finally got our mob simulation chamber running using pulsating polymer clay, which is just clay and pulsating dust, which is pretty easy to get at this point. It's just NOMI coins. And we get overworldian matter, which we will use to make more data models. And you can use it to craft items. And then we got pristine zombie matter, which we can loot fabricate into iron. This is going to be the first thing that we automate like basic necessities with. So this is just a start though. We're going to eventually have a lot of these. And I believe we have acquired the chemical reactor and the forge hammer since I last talked. A chemical reactor, it allows us to make a lot of things. We're going to use these very late game. So yeah, LUV to make stem cells and bacterial sludge. Yeah, these are the things that get kind of scary, like these wetwares. These LUV pumps, because the assembly line, electric motors, nobium titanium. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have a long ways to go. But consistency is key. That's how we're going to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. Right now, I'm going to let this run for a little bit and talk about the forge hammer. The forge hammer allows us to make trash plate recipes 3-2, so 1.5-1. Not good. Vending machine does it 1-1. 1-1. Whenever I say that, it's 1 ingot to 1 output material. So like this would be 1 to 2, like 1 ingot to 2 rods. See? You have 12 in there. Fine. But this is trash, I'm not even gonna touch it. What we need to focus on right now is 1, getting overworldian, hellish, and extraterrestrial matter so we could get an Enderman data model, because this automates Ender pearls, which is going to be very, very important to us because we use resonant Ender to make clathrates, to make pulsating dust infinitely, which is a very, very big part of our factory. What I may do is use this little downstairs area as sort of a power generation hub, at least for early game, because it's not very busy, right? I could get another one of these, set it right here, have another one of these guys, place 2 more of these guys right here, and then just have them all face up instead of sideways, and I could double this very easily. And this is expandable because I can use these 2 blocks to quadruple it if necessary. But I don't know if we're going to have a super robust steam dynamo system, just because we're going to be moving into numismatic dynamos through diamond generation as soon as we have a medium scale simulation chamber and loot fabricator set up. But if I remember correctly, the loot fabricator is a little far off right now. Yeah, so it's going to take an MV circuit and energetic alloy, which is we're going to need the blast furnace for. So we shouldn't really get too ahead of ourselves. Right now, we need a blast furnace. There is no way around that. And I think that's what we're going to do. Let's make a freaking blast furnace. We made a new home for our old primitive blast furnace. We also crafted the basic assembling machine. This is huge. This allows us to start crafting components for the blast furnace. This ain't nothing new, we just make it in the wall. So we can make some clay. This is the first, well, 3rd craft of Cooper nickel coil blocks. These are some Invar, I think it's like heat proof Invar casings. Yeah, so now let's get to crafting the actual blast furnace. We have all of our things. We have a muffler hatch, an input and output hatch, input and output bus. So a hatch is for fluids and a bus is for items. You need 2 energy hatches. 1 each draws 4 amps of LV power. So we're drawing 8 from our 16X battery buffer. At least I think that's how it should work. And that means we will be at MV power, because we are drawing 8 amps of LV. That gives us, yeah, MV. So we're putting the input and output bus on opposite sides, input on the left, the output on the right. You messed it up the first time. And we have our energy hatches on the back. Yeah, the heat-proof Invar machine casing. This is probably one of the hardest things to watch in this video, even though it's supposed to be something really cool, because it's probably the slowest anyone has ever set up a blast furnace. Because see, I get up here, and instead of just placing the maintenance hatch or the muffler hatch, I jump down. But yeah, blue ball. By the way, the last song that played, the rock one, was Waiting on My Man, or Waiting on the Man, I think. They're one of those by Develop Underground, and this one is, I think, Fire of the Mind by Coil. But yeah, you have your maintenance hatch, you put some tools in it, and then it solves the problems. Bada bing, bada boom, she's working. We put a circuit in, aluminum dust in. We are getting aluminum. Let's freaking go. This is so huge. Like, this is what is about to take us into the early game. These are the moments in time where you're just proud of yourself. The first aluminum freaking ingot, medium voltage. Let's get out. I'm coming for you. Hey, thank you if you made it. New video coming out probably 1 to 2 weeks. Because, yeah, this a lot. But, yeah. Deuces.